The Senate will please come to order. We'll begin this Friday morning with a moment of silence in lieu of a devotional. Thank you. Are there any announcements this morning? We have one House bill under Rule 31, H 435 being on the calendar for notice and affecting the expenditures of the state. Under Rule 31 is referred to the Committee on Appropriations. We have one House bill for reference as well. H 443, an act relating to approval of the merger of the Wilmington Water District with the town of Wilmington. It was passed in the House on May, I think this is the 5th, 2021. Please listen to the first reading of the bill.
H 443. An act relating to approval of the merger of the Wilmington Water District with the town of Wilmington.
Now you've heard the first reading of the bill, excuse me, thank you. And the bill is referred to the Committee on Rules. This brings us to the orders of the day. We have on the calendar today S42, an act relating to establishing the Emergency Service Provider Wellness Commission. The House has proposed to the Senate to amend the bill as set forth on pages 1859 to 1863 of today's calendar. The underlying question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S42? The Senator from Rutland, Senator Terenzini, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. The Senate Health and Welfare Committee received back an improved version of S42, an act relating to establishing the Emergency Service Provider Wellness Commission. On page 2, while considering the diversity of the Wellness Commission, sexual orientation and gender identity were added to make this bill even stronger. On page 4, we once again see that while determining the representation among the members of the commission, gender identity and sexual orientation has been added language. On page 5, language was added that the Commissioner of Mental Health shall be the one to appoint a trauma workplace clinician to the commission. On page 6, the individual who has served on a peer support team shall be appointed by the Department of Mental Health. Towards the bottom of page 6, starting with line 15, it discusses the staggering terms for these commissioners and reads, of the members first appointed, 10 shall be appointed for a term of 1 year, 10 shall be appointed for a term of 2 years, and the remainder shall be appointed for a term of 3 years. This bill was voted out of the Senate Health and Welfare Committee by a vote of 5-0-0. Often we hear our talented Senate Pro Tem use the word forthwith. I will take a play from Senator Ballant's playbook and encourage all 30 of us to vote in the affirmative forthwith. Let's get this done for our first responders who need this desperately, and thank them for their service to our great state. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S42? Are you ready for the question? Kindly unmute. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've concurred with the House proposal of amendment on S42. We have on the calendar today S1, an act relating to extending the base load renewable power portfolio requirement. The House has proposed to the Senate to amend the bill as set forth on page 1759 of today's calendar. The underlying question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S1? The Senator from Orange, Senator McDonald, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. S1 is known as the Rygate Bill. We extended the operation of the Rygate plant for 2 years while the new owners sought to find a long-term solution that might make the plant operate for longer than a 2-year extension. Our colleagues in the other body reviewed the bill, and they came back with a recommendation that we add to the bill a small provision that is both small but thoughtful. It would ask the Commissioner of Forest Parks to put together a group with the Northern Development Association, the Regional Development Corporation, representatives of the forestry community, and neighbors of the plant to convene and discuss how the community might deal with a possible closure. The cost was $10,000, and the plant owners volunteered to pick up that cost and ask to be sent to be rendered, as it says in the bill, be rendered a bill for $10,000 so that they can pick up the cost and the community can discuss and plan for a possible closure of the plant. Senators will recall that the plant would not close under this legislation until 2024, and this would call for a report on how such an eventuality might be dealt with should the plant close. There is also a technical amendment in which the word repealed is repealed, and a more detailed explanation would sound like a Abbott and Costello skit, which I will spare you. It's simply a technical correction. The Committee on Finance recommended that we accept and thank the other body for their suggestion and approve the bill in concurrence as amended. Thank you, Mr. President. Madam President.
I'm going to get a jar, and every time that happens, we're going to put $1 in it.
And
next time.
And I will put some advance payments, Madam President.
For coffee next year. The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S1? Are you ready for the question? Kindly unmute. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've concurred with the House proposal of amendment on S1. There's been a request to pass over S86, and without objection, we'll do so and move to S107, an act relating to confidential information concerning initial arrest and charge of a juvenile. The House has proposed to the Senate to amend the bill as set forth on page 1815 of today's calendar. The underlying question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S07? The senator from Windham, Senator White, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. It's a little bit of a mystery how this happened, but somewhere between the Senate passing the bill and it getting to the House, some gremlins got a hold of it and seemed to change the wording just a little bit. And so it was considered a Scrivener's error in the House, but rather than just dealing with it that way, they sent it back to us. And so what is coming back to us is exactly the way we passed it to begin with. So we ask that we accept their amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S107? Are you ready for the question? The senator from Addison is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. May I inquire of the reporter?
You may.
Thank you. I'm just a little confused. Can you explain to me a bit more what you mean? I didn't follow what happened. Why did it come back exactly, but it says it's amended?
Because somehow when it between going from us to there, rather than saying under the age of 20, it said age of 19. I'm not sure exactly what happened. It's been hard to follow it, but it is exactly as we passed it now with their amendment. And I'm not sure why they didn't just consider it a Scrivener's error and deal with it that way, but rather they sent it back to us.
Okay.
So what we are passing right now is what we passed.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. Just a little confusing.
Wasn't much of a clarification, but I had a hard time kind of following it since I wasn't in the committee. Thank you.
But the bottom line is what we're being asked to pass today is exactly what we already have passed.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. The question is, shall the Senate concur with the House proposal of amendment on S-107? Are you ready for the question? Kindly unmute. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've concurred with the House proposal of amendment on S-107. We have on the calendar for action H-227, read for the first time on April 7th, 2021. It was referred to the Committee on Government Operations, which reports it has considered the bill and recommends that the bill ought to pass. Please listen to the second reading of H-227.
H-227, an act relating to approval of amendments to the Charter of the City of Winooski.
The senator from Chittenden, Senator Rahm, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Government Operations.
Thank you, Madam President. H-227 makes changes to the Charter of the City of Winooski, which is entering into its 100th year as a chartered settlement. The centerpiece of the Winooski charter change is all resident voting, which we just advanced in the Montpelier Charter. As my chair has reminded this body on several occasions, all resident voting is not new in the United States. Up until the start of the 20th century, when anti-immigrant sentiment began to rise, at least 22 states formally allowed non-citizens to vote in local, state, and federal elections. By 1926, all states had abolished the practice of allowing all residents to vote. Non-citizens are allowed to vote in some local elections in Chicago, San Francisco, and Maryland. I will now walk us through the changes requested to the Winooski Charter. The following sections relate to all resident voting in local elections, which was approved with 70% support in the 2020 town meeting election. Section 202 is amended to permit all resident voting in city elections. Subsection A states that the qualifications for federal and state elections shall be as provided by general law. The qualifications for city elections shall be as provided by charter. Subsection B provides the qualifications for city elections. Any person may register who on election day is a legal resident of the city, has taken the voter's oath, and is 18 years of age or older. Subsection C defines legal resident of the city as any person who is a resident of Winooski and is a U.S. citizen or who resides in the U.S. on a permanent or indefinite basis in compliance with federal law. Subsection D requires the city clerk to maintain separate checklists for city elections and federal or state elections. Subsection E states that the checklist will be kept confidential pursuant to general law. Provisions in sections 105, 304, and 602 are technically amended to eliminate references to citizen within the charter and replace those references with resident. Section 201 is amended to cross-reference the new all-resident voting qualifications. The following sections are miscellaneous changes to the Winooski Charter, not related to all-resident voting. Section 205 is amended to eliminate Winooski's charter-specific nomination deadlines and to align these requirements with general law. Section 305 is amended to remove an exception to the city's conflict of interest provisions. The amendment deletes the exception provided to volunteer members of the fire department. Currently, a volunteer fire department member may serve as a member of the city council. This is deleted, and under the charter change language, a member of the city council may not hold any other city office or city employment. Section 506 is amended to allow the city manager to appoint a human resources director. The position was previously a human resources coordinator, and this recognizes the full breadth of the role. Section 603 is amended to repeal the office and duties of the personnel director. This section is amended to allow the city manager to adopt personnel policies. Section 717 is amended to technically correct the term RCO classification and replace this classification with the list of property types that fall under this category: recreational, conservation, or open space lands. The section is also technically corrected to fix references to taxed versus assessed and assessed value versus fair market value. These corrections do not alter the substantive value of assessment, the type of property subject to the non-residential tax rate, or the application of the tax. Section 903 is amended to eliminate the phrase, "so help me God" or "so I affirm" from the city's oath of office. The oath is further amended to require the oath to be sworn under penalty of law. The committee only received testimony in this late stage in the session from our Office of Legislative Counsel, but I did have informal discussion with the members from Winooski in the other chamber, as well as the mayor of Winooski, in case people have further questions. Madam President, Winooski has often been celebrated as a city built on the hopes, dreams, and hard work of immigrants, from textile mills during the merino wool boom to the soap making and biotech instruments of today, and always with unique markets, small businesses, and religious and cultural centers that continue to make it a unique, vibrant destination in our state. From the 2017 American Community Survey, we know that 10% of Winooski's population have not attained citizenship, and another 8% are naturalized citizens. They are also overrepresented in one of the major areas of civic engagement that has gotten so many of us involved in our democratic discourse, our schools. English language learning families make up 42% of the Winooski School District, and like most of us, they want the best possible collective outcomes for our children. All resident voting does not diminish who we are as citizens. It reminds us that citizenship is not static, that exercising citizenship is a verb and not a noun. As Alexis de Tocqueville once wrote about our beloved local democracy, the native of New England is attached to his township because it is independent and free. His cooperation in its affairs ensures his attachment to its interest. The well-being it affords him secures his affection, and its welfare is the aim of his ambition and of his future exertions. He takes a part in every occurrence in the place. He practices the art of government in the small sphere within his reach. He accustoms himself to those forms which can alone ensure the steady progress of liberty. He imbibes their spirit. He acquires a taste for order, comprehends the union or the balance of powers, and collects clear, practical notions on the nature of his duties and the extent of his rights. Madam President, your Senate Government Operations Committee passed these charter changes on a vote of 410 and asks for the support of the body. Thank you.
Thank you. The question is, shall the bill be read the third time? Are you ready?
Roll call.
The senator from Rutland, I believe, first called for the roll, but I also want to recognize that the senator from Essex, Orleans, also requested a roll call vote. Are you ready for the question? The senator from Bennington is recognized.
Madam President, may I inquire the reporter of the bill?
You may.
It wasn't clear, Madam President, whether or not, going back to the firefighters in Winooski who cannot be on a board, are they a volunteer or are they city employees?
We did not explore that deeply. Some of us had a similar question. I can get back to you on third reading if there's any form of compensation and what that looks like, or defer to another member of my committee.
I appreciate that. Madam President, it bothers me some because I served on the Bennington Select Board for years with someone who worked in our highway department, and having that person available to answer questions from potholes to whatever from my constituents in Bennington was really helpful as a select board member. So I think it's unfortunate if cities deny employees that opportunity. I understand that this is a charter and they can do what they want. That troubles me. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. The senator from Franklin is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. May I inquire of the reporter of the bill?
You may.
I'm not sure if I heard the reporter correctly, but I thought I heard that the separate checklist that would be maintained for non-citizen voters was confidential. Is that correct?
It would be confidential per general law in our state, which does allow someone to request access to the voter roll. It just doesn't publish it anywhere.
Well, Madam President, the statewide checklist is published and is available by request to anyone who writes the Secretary of State. Would that be the case for the separate checklist for the city of Winooski?
Madam President, it would be available upon request, similar to general.
So it's not confidential, in other words?
Yes, not confidential but by request, it can be made available.
Was there any discussion regarding allowing non-citizens to vote that raised the issue of the potential dilution of the vote of citizens as a result of the increased number of voters?
Madam President, I think I would need more clarification around the word dilution.
Well, the more voters there are, Madam President, in an election, the less the impact or value of an individual vote would be. A smaller number of voters would mean that a person's vote, in effect, has more impact on the overall result.
Madam President, I think the majority of our committee felt that having more people vote in an election doesn't constitute the dilution of anyone's right to vote or ability to vote or impact on an election. When 42% of the school district is made up of people who are English language learners, which may correlate somewhat to people who can't participate in the local school elections, I would say that we heard from Winooski folks and 70% of them voted. So, a larger proportion than make up the people who are residents and not citizens, that they believe they want their fellow residents to be able to share in these decisions. And they personally don't feel like it dilutes their ability to have an impact in their local school and city elections.
Thank you, Madam President.
The senator from Rutland is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. May I inquire of the reporter of the bill?
You may.
I too would be interested in learning more in regards to the section about the fire department not being able to hold local office. I believe that I echo some of the concerns of the senator from Bennington, that there is tremendous value in our public servants being able to hold positions like being on the volunteer fire department and also giving in a leadership role to their beloved municipality. I, for one, served 9 years on my local volunteer fire department, all while serving in different capacities, including the select board. We also have a national shortage of volunteers to local fire department and EMS departments, and we don't need to be doing anything that would make it even more difficult to recruit and retain membership to departments. So I would ask of the reporter of the bill if you could find out a little more detail for us before third reading.
Madam President, I will absolutely do that, and I'll try to get it to the members of the body this evening if I can, so that if people still have concerns, we can address those before third reading with enough time to give that consideration. So apologies that I don't have a better answer on why this change was made. I'm sure there's a valid explanation, but I'll make sure that that is agreed upon by the other members of the body before we proceed.
Thank you, Madam President.
The question is, shall the bill be read the third time? Are you ready for the question? And again, a roll call vote has been called by the senator from Rutland and also the senator from Essex Orleans. The secretary, therefore, is kindly asked to call the roll.
Senator Ballant.
Yes.
Senator Baruth.
Yes.
Senator Benning.
No.
Senator Bray.
Yes.
Senator Brock.
No.
Senator Campion.
Yes.
Senator Chittenden.
Aye.
Senator Clarkson.
Yes.
Senator Collmore.
No.
Senator Cummings.
Yes.
Senator Hardy,
Yes.
Senator Hooker,
Yes.
Senator Ingalls,
No.
Senator Kitchell,
Yes.
Senator Lyons,
Yes.
Senator McDonald,
Yes.
Senator Mazza,
No.
Senator McCormack,
Yes.
Senator Nitka,
No.
Senator Parent,
No.
Senator Pearson,
Yes.
Senator Perschlick,
Yes.
Senator Polina,
Yes.
Senator Rahm,
Yes.
Senator Sears,
Yes.
Senator Sirotkin,
Yes.
Senator Starr,
No.
Senator Terenzini,
No.
Senator Westman,
No.
Senator White,
Yeah, yes.
Please listen to the result of your vote. The yeas 20, the nays 10, and you've ordered third reading of H 227. We have in the calendar for action H 420, read for the first time on March 17th, 2021. It was referred to the Committee on Agriculture, which reports it has considered the bill and recommends that the bill be amended as set forth on page 1890 of today's calendar, and that when so amended, the bill ought to pass. The bill was then referred to the Committee on Appropriations, which reports it has considered the bill and recommends that the bill be amended by the Committee on Agriculture, the bill be amended as recommended by the Committee on Agriculture, and that when so amended, the bill ought to pass. Please listen to the second reading of H 420.
H 420, an act relating to miscellaneous agricultural subjects.
The senator from Chittenden, Senator Pearson, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Agriculture.
Thank you, Madam President. As the President said, can be found on page 1890 of today's calendar. With permission, I'll describe both the underlying bill and the modest amendment from Senate Agriculture, if that's okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Section 1, repeal the sunset of on-farm personal slaughter authority. Senators will recall back in 2013, the state set up a way for modest on-farm slaughter of animals. This was tiptoeing into a realm that the federal government has a fairly heavy hand in, and we wanted to make it accessible for small farmers, particularly diversified farmers. And the program has been very successful. So the other body and we Concur just lifted the sunset altogether. We have a lot of eyes watching the on-farm slaughter process. So we didn't think we needed to continually revisit here in the legislature. The first instance of our suggested amendment has to do with the on-farm slaughter. As I said, in 2013, we started a very modest program, which had, for instance, a farmer being able to slaughter 15 swine, 5 cattle, 40 sheep or goats, et cetera, very small numbers. The program's been so successful, and we've had really no known complaints or problems or health concerns that we are suggesting we double that capacity. This has been a great help to our small farmers, particularly in the pandemic when food security has been an issue, access to food. We've worried about slaughter facilities closing down in the Midwest and the impact on our food supply. So given the good track record and the need for this small empowerment to the diversified ag sector, we recommend doubling the amount of animals for on-farm slaughter. In our discussion in the second instance of our amendment, we came to learn that I believe it's Wyoming allows consumers there to buy animal shares, sort of like senators would be familiar with a vegetable share at a so-called CSA, where every week you pay in February maybe, and every week you go pick up your vegetables. Similar to that in Wyoming, they have come up with a structure that allows somebody to buy a share of an animal, and basically you are paying a farmer to raise your animal, and then you can pick up meat cuts, etc. The way we've done it is you can buy sort of a quarter of an animal, but not pick up steaks, for instance. This is dicey. This is it because of the strict federal overlay. Basically, we didn't think we could replicate exactly what Wyoming's doing, particularly with just a week's time. So what we're doing here in Section 1B, our proposed amendment, is just to direct Legislative Counsel to understand the details better and come back to us with a report. This would be a very exciting opportunity for our small farmers in our state, where we like to be very connected with the food supply. But there are enough legal questions that we want to make sure we do it right. So we're just asking Legislative Counsel to come back to us. Sections 2 and 3, back to the original as passed bill, updates the definition of a livestock dealer. We regulate those actors in a certain way and want to make it clear that a farmer who is moving their own animals or getting ready to sell their own animals are not actually livestock dealers. It can be the course of regular farming. So Section 2 here under clarifies livestock dealers include online or remote transaction. Also some updates to the actual what is a livestock dealer. Section 4 is the Veterinarian Loan Repayment Fund. Vermont currently operates a program that assists veterinarians who operate in the state in repaying student loans. And we are amending eligibility by requiring recipients to be significantly dedicated to treating food animals. And that money comes out of the agency directly, so not an impact on state budget. Section 5 has to do with weights and measures. It's so old-fashioned, Madam President, but we still go around and measure scales. What we're clarifying here is that the agency, how do I want to say this, is responsible for the scales that could impact consumers. So the obvious one that we all see every week or two is at the gas pump. When you buy a gallon worth of gas, the Agency of Agriculture is making sure you actually get a gallon. What we're clarifying here is when there are commercial weights and measures. So a business that sells the gasoline, let's say, to the station, the filling station, we're not regulating the weights and measures on the tanker truck. We're only intersecting in the consumer front protection. So just clarifying there. Section 6, it has to do with ecosystem services. The Senate's talked about quite a lot. There was a sunset for next year, February of next year. And that group has been farmer-led, but the agency is helping them. And we didn't want to scramble in January and extend it. Figured we would do that here. Section 7 has to do with custom applicators. These are the folks that are licensed to put nutrients on fields, also pesticides. We're clarifying that custom applicators must be certified to operate in the state. That's sort of practice anyway, but making it clear. Also, shifting waste, the definition in 6 VSA 4802, sub 8, waste or agricultural waste, and defining means material originating or emanating from a farm determined by the Secretary to be harmful to the waters of the state, making it clear that those responsibilities fall under this chapter. Section 8 of the bill has to do with non-sewage waste. and it corrects an incorrect cross-reference, otherwise making no change. Section 9 has to do with records of the agency. Current law provides that information the agency collects for businesses and farm is public, except that identifying information of businesses or farms shall not be disclosed. And in recent years, the agency has been building databases for different programs, and it makes it clear that extends to these databases. Section 10 is the hemp section. Senators will recall that Vermont's hemp laws operate under a pilot authorization, which is important for us to have more flexibility than otherwise farmers would have under federal law. And we are extending that pilot one more year. Section 11 charges the agency, as all our agencies have emergency plans, directs that the agency update the agricultural annex to the state emergency management plan to improve state capacity to maintain food supply during emergency and other food insecurity events. Section 12 is the effective dates. The hemp section takes effect on passage. The rest takes effect July 1st. We had a vote of 5-0 in Senate Ag. We heard from folks in the meat inspection, the chief of the agency, the general counsel for the agency, the policy director, public health and ag resource management. We heard from rural Vermont, from the state vet, from the assistant state vet. We heard from Representative John O'Brien, reporter of the House bill, from our own Ledge Council, from the agency's director of water quality, from the Franklin County Industrial Development Corporation executive director, and from Abby Willard, who's director of Ag Development Division at the agency. It was a 5-0 vote, and we would ask the Senate for its support.
Thank you, Senator. The senator from Essex Orleans, Senator Starr, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Appropriations.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. We did receive H420 in the Appropriations Committee, and upon reviewing 420, found that there was no appropriation in 420, but it got sent to us because the underlying bill did have an appropriation, along with the Soil Health Working Group, the Ecosystem Services Program that we did in S315 had an appropriation in it. But this bill we found has no appropriation, and so we voted it out on a 7-0 vote and recommend the Senate pass the bill as presented by the Agricultural Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall the Senate propose to the House to amend the bill as recommended by the Committee on Agriculture? Are you ready for the question? Kindly unmute. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you propose to the House to amend the bill as recommended by the Committee on Agriculture. The question now is, shall the bill be read the third time? Are you ready for the question? Kindly unmute. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've ordered third reading of H420. This concludes the orders of the day. The senator from Windham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I move that the rules be suspended and the Committee on Appropriations be relieved of H435, an act relating to miscellaneous Department of Corrections related amendments, and the bill be placed on the action calendar on the next legislative day. By way of explanation, Madam President, it was referred to Approps via Rule 31 it has come to our attention, the Chair of Appropriations and the Chair of Government Operations, that it does not actually need to make a stop at appropriations, and both those chairs are in agreement. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. The senator from Windham has moved that the rules be suspended and the Committee on Appropriations be relieved of H 435, an act relating to miscellaneous Department of Corrections related amendments, and the bill be placed in the action calendar for the next legislative day. Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, kindly unmute and say aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've suspended the rules and relieved the Committee of Appropriations of H 435 and put it on the action calendar for the next legislative day. The senator from Windham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Pending announcements, I move that the Senate stand in adjournment until Monday, May 11th at Tuesday, Mr. Secretary. Let me begin again. Pending announcements, I move that the Senate stand in adjournment until Tuesday at 10 a.m.
The senator from Windham has moved that subject to any announcements, the Senate do adjourn until Tuesday, May 11th at 10 a.m. Are you ready? Are there any announcements? The senator from Washington is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Finance will meet at 1 o'clock.
Thank you, Senator. The senator from Windham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Government Operations will meet at 1:15.
Thank you, Senator. The senior senator from Caledonia is recognized.
Senate Appropriations will meet at 1. Thank you.
Thank you. The senator from Bennington, Senator Campion, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Education will meet at 1:30.
Thank you. The senator from Caledonia is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Institutions will meet at 1 o'clock.
Thank you, Senator. Are there any additional announcements? The chair does have an announcement on behalf of the Committee on Committees. The House has requested a committee of conference on H 439, an act relating to making appropriations for the support of government. Pursuant to the request of the House, the Committee on Committees appoints the following senators as members of the Committee of Conference on H 439. Senator Kitchell, Senator Sears, and Senator Westman. Are there any additional announcements? The senator from Windham is recognized.
Madam President, my apologies. Is it appropriate at this time for us to do some more confirmations?
The motion may be withdrawn, and we can certainly take up confirmation.
At this time, Madam President, I would like to withdraw my motion to adjourn. I am interested in going through as many of the confirmations as we can at this time. It's my apologies, my oversight.
Page there has like, I think 5 of them.
On today's calendar, page 1940, we have a number of confirmations before us. I may begin by, I'm just going to reference them, and then I will also ask senators if you're prepared to take them up. We have Corey Gusterson, and I have Senator Cummings. Senator Cummings, are you prepared to do Corey Gusterson today?
I am.
Okay, thank you. And Julie Moore, I have Senator Bray.
Ready.
Thank you. Lewis Porter, I have Senator Westman.
I am ready. And
Diane
I'm also ready to do Commissioner Snyder at Forest and Parks.
Okay, thank you very much. And Senator McCormick, I have as Diane Snelling.
I'm prepared.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Madam President.
The senator from Rutland is recognized.
I have Commissioner Sean Brown as well. I'm ready for if you so desire today.
We did him on April 16th. I sent him an email on that.
Yeah, we will not take him up today. I believe he was confirmed on April 16th.
Oh, my apologies. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
I think the Senate conferees are getting appointed today, so.
Okay, the senator from Wyndham has asked that we take up appointments. This is the appointment of Corey G. Gusterson of Montpelier as Commissioner of the Department of Vermont Health Access. The question is, shall Corey G. Gusterson be appointed as the Commissioner of Department of Health Access? The senator from Washington, Senator Cummings, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Health and Welfare.
Thank you, Madam President. Corey Gusterson has served as the Commissioner of the Department of Vermont Health Access since January of 2017. Under his leadership, the department has prioritized and made significant strides in the areas of value-based payments, information technology, and performance improvement. He previously served as Director of Government and Public Relations at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Vermont, and before that managed government relations at the Vermont Association of Hospitals and Health Systems and at the Vermont League of Cities and Towns. Corey has a Master's of Public Administration degree from Norwich University and a Bachelor of Arts from Harvard, where he also played Division I hockey. After college, he played professional hockey in the United States and Europe. And we think perhaps that experience as a professional hockey player has helped him in handling the rough and tumble arena of healthcare reform. Your Committee on Health and Welfare voted 5-0-0 and asked you to confirm the confirmation of Corey Gusterson as the Commissioner of the Department of Health at Vermont Health Access.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall Corey G. Gusterson be confirmed as the Commissioner of the Department of Vermont Health Access? Are you ready for the question? Kindly unmute. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've confirmed the appointment of Corey G. Gusterson as the Commissioner of the Department of Vermont Health Access. This is the appointment of Julia S. Moore of Middlesex as the Secretary of the Agency of Natural Resources. The question is, shall the Senate confirm Julie S. Moore as the Secretary of the Agency of Natural Resources? The senator from Addison, Senator Bray, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Natural Resources and Energy.
Thank you, Madam President. It's my pleasure to report on the reappointment of Julia Slack Moore as Secretary of the Agency of Natural Resources. I think many members of the Senate are familiar with her because she has served in this position since 2017 when she was first appointed by Governor Scott. Just as a reminder, as Secretary of A&R, she oversees 3 divisions: environmental conservation, fish and wildlife, and forest parks and recreation, manages a $170 million budget. There's over 600 employees, manages as well 350,000 acres of public lands, as well as a variety of activities, not only with state government, but with her peers and colleagues around the country and with the federal EPA. Ms. Moore is Secretary Moore is a consummate professional. She's had 25 years of work on water and water quality related issues in both the public and private sector. As I mentioned, since 2017, she's been secretary of ANR. Longtime members may remember that she also served from May of 07 through February of 11 as the director of the state's Clean and Clear program under Governor Douglas. She's also had 2 periods of employment in the private sector with Stone Environmental, as well as Limnotech Technology in Washington, D.C. And front and center in all that work has been water quality. Secretary Moore has a bachelor's in civil engineering cum laude from University of Buffalo, a master's in science and environmental science and policy from Johns Hopkins, and she has a variety of professional designations and special certifications. She has been, I would say, a strong partner for the legislature in our ongoing work on water quality, and the committee recommends her for confirmation with a vote of 5-0-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall the Senate confirm the appointment of Julia S. Moore as Secretary of the Agency of Natural Resources? Are you ready for the question? Kindly unmute. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've confirmed the appointment of Julia S. Moore as Secretary of the Agency of Natural Resources. This is the appointment of Louis P. Porter of Adamant as the Commissioner of the Department of Fish and Wildlife. The question is, shall the Senate confirm the appointment of Louis P. Porter as the Commissioner of the Department of Fish and Wildlife? The senator from Lamoille, Senator Westman, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Natural Resources and Energy.
Louis Porter has been the Commissioner of Forest and Parks since 2014. The Department of Forest and Parks has 130 full-time employees and a $23 million budget. One of the things not seen very often in the department is there has been upgrades to Buck Lake Conservation Camp and a dramatic increase in energy efficiency in many of the buildings that Forest and Parks runs. There's a lot of interplay between the department and other agents, other departments in state government around work in Act 250 and areas like that have run very well. Louis, before this, was the Secretary of Civil and Military Affairs in the previous administration. He worked as the Lake Champlain Lake Keeper for CLF before that. And before that, many of us knew him as a reporter, and he worked in many different areas as a reporter. He was educated at the University of Washington, went to school at the University of Arizona and at Sterling College. And one private note, I know Louis as a very proud new dad. And I'm happy to recommend him, and the Natural Resources Committee is very happy to recommend him. We voted 5-0-0.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall the Senate confirm the appointment of Louis Porter as Commissioner of the Department of Fish and Wildlife? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've confirmed the appointment of Louis Porter as Commissioner of the Department of Fish and Wildlife. This is the appointment of Diane Snelling of Hinesburg as Chair of the Natural Resources Board. The question is, shall the Senate confirm the appointment of Diane Snelling as Chair of the Natural Resources Board? The senator from Windsor, Senator McCormick, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Natural Resources and Energy. Kindly unmute, Senator. That is our fault. We muted you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought I was muted when I said stand by. That was for my wife's benefit. I'm privileged and grateful to report the nomination of my friend and former colleague, Diane Snelling, as chair of the Natural Resources Board. She was appointed to this position by Governor Shumlin in 2016. Over her life, she has lived in California, Massachusetts, New York, and Vermont. She has worked as a teacher, a business manager, and an artist. In fact, some of her work hung in the Finance Committee room during the chairmanship of Senator Ashe. She is a 1974 Harvard graduate, magna cum laude, and a 1994 master's degree from New York University. I would add that it is rare for someone to be a Harvard graduate and have all their friends not already know that. I did not know that after all these years. She served in the Senate between 2002 and 2016. She was appointed originally to serve out the term of her mother, the late Lieutenant Governor and late State Senator Barbara Snelling, who had, through health reasons, was not able to complete her term. But she has served until 2016. Among her committee work was on appropriations, natural resources and energy, of course, judiciary. And her legacy is broad and deep, but most notably her work on government accountability, Abenaki recognition, and transgender rights. The Natural Resources Board is responsible, and its chair in particular, responsible for the management of the Act 250 apparatus, which is 9 district commissions. They are quasi-judicial. Each commission consists of 3 commissioners who are paid per diem. They're basically volunteers, and coordinators who are full-time professionals. She has expanded the use of IT in particular in her time chairing the Natural Resources Board. The vote in committee was unanimous in recommending her confirmation, and I pass that on to the Senate. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall the Senate confirm the appointment of Diane Snelling as chair of the Natural Resources Board? Are you ready for the question? Kindly unmute. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've confirmed the appointment of Diane Snelling as chair of the Natural Resources Board. This is the appointment of Michael C. Snyder of Stowe as Commissioner of the Department of Forests, Parks, and Recreation. The question is, shall the Senate confirm the appointment of Michael C. Snyder as Commissioner of the Department of Forests, Parks, and Recreation? The senator from Lamoille, Senator Westman, is recognized for the report of the Committee on Natural Resources and Energy.
Michael Snyder has led the Department of Forest and Parks since 2011. From one administration to another was kept on. There are 115 permanent employees there. There are 450 seasonal employees. And as we all know, over the last year and a half through COVID, it has been very difficult in a department with 55 state parks and keeping the department on an even keel. And he's done a very good job at that. Before he became Commissioner of Forest and Parks, he was the Chittenden County Forester from 1997 to 2010. He was a private consulting forester from 1990 to 1997. Before that, he's been on numerous boards in boards of organizations. He has a master's degree and a bachelor's degree from the University of Vermont in forestry. I would say his board work had extra bonuses. I know him for some of the work that through the Stowe Land Trust, and he was on the board at Stowe Land Trust till 2011. He eventually married the executive director of the Stowe Land Trust, and he and his wife, Kristen, are the proud adopted parents of a new daughter, and he bubbles when he talks about his daughter. So both of Forest and Parks and Fish and Wildlife are they're both proud parents of two new daughters, and we recommend him from Natural Resources 500.
Thank you, Senator. The question is, shall the Senate confirm the appointment of Michael Snyder as Commissioner of the Department of Forests, Parks, and Recreation? Are you ready for the question? Kindly unmute. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and you've confirmed the appointment of Michael Snyder as Commissioner of the Department of Forests, Parks, and Recreation. I believe that completes the appointments, and the Senator from Windham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Pending announcements, I move that the Senate stand in adjournment until Tuesday, May 11th at 10 a.m.
The Senator from Windham has moved that, subject to any announcements, the Senate do adjourn until Tuesday, May 11th at 10 a.m. Are there any further announcements this morning? The Senator from Windham is recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Concerning floor time next week, we're going to stick to this schedule of 10 a.m. Each day for floor time next week. As you know, in the last couple weeks of the session, things do often change, but we're going to try to stick to this as much as we can. I think it's helpful for senators and for people watching to know when we intend to be on the floor. As I mentioned to senators last week, please prioritize the work of the afternoon committees and understand that you may have members of your committee and your morning committee that really need to be voting on bills in their afternoon committee. So it's important that you're communicating with those chairs. Madam President, I also wish to make an inquiry of the Chair of Government Operations.
The Senator from Windham is recognized.
Senator, are you interested in getting a charter change out of Senate rules this morning?
I believe the charter, thank you, Madam President. I believe the charter for Wilmington is there, and any other charters that might have come over, I haven't noticed any others. We still will not be asking for Brattleboro, but we'll ask for Wilmington, and if there's any other simple changes.
Thank you. I see nodding from the Senate Secretary. I believe the charter from Wilmington is in rules. So I will ask senators who serve on the Rules Committee to stay on the Zoom after we adjourn. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. The Senator from Windham has moved the Senate adjourn until Tuesday, May 11th at 10 a.m. Are you ready for the question? All those in favor, kindly unmute and say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the Senate stands adjourned until